Hi everybody, welcome to lesson 9 of our math work. We skipped lesson 8. That's something that we would have done in the classroom. So we are jumping to lesson 9. And today's objective is to use the vertical method and drawings to solve addition problems. So let's break that down. Let's look at that vertical method again. Remember, vertical goes up and down. So that means we're adding numbers and we're stacking them up and down to solve. So we're going to use the vertical form. And that keyword there, drawings, to solve addition problems. So we're also going to draw these numbers in our place value charts. And they're all going to be addition. So they're all going to be adding problems today. All right, so before we jump into that, we are going to do our application problem together. So take out your books, turn them to page 53. So on page 53, you will see our problem. We're going to do it together, so follow along with me. Okay, here is our problem, and I'll write the page number up at the top just in case you're still looking for it. Okay, but if you're ready, let's read it, and then we will break it down. Maria spilled a box of paper clips. Okay, so she spilled a box of paper clips. We know what that looks like. They landed on her desk and on the floor. 20 of them landed on her desk. 5 more fell on the floor, then landed on her desk. How many paper clips did she spill? Okay, so there's kind of a lot of information in this. So let's break it down. What are we picturing? We are picturing a spilled box of paper clips. All right. So I'm just going to draw a little picture here. You don't have to draw this one, but I want to show you what this looks like. So Maria had a box of paper clips here, and oh no, it fell and they all spilled out. Some landed on her desk. So let's draw a little desk here. Some landed on the desk. And some landed on the floor. Okay? Now, what we do know, let me switch my color. We know that 20 of them landed where? On her desk. So on the desk here, there are 20. And it says that 5 more fell on the floor, then landed on her desk. Now that is tricky, and I am boxing that whole sentence because it's not saying that 5 landed on the floor. It's saying that 5 more are on the floor than on the desk. So we're trying to figure out how many paper clips altogether did she spill. How many paper clips were in this box that fell over. All right, so let's use a tape diagram. Tape diagrams are perfect for this kind of problem because it shows you exactly what information you have. So we know 2 things. We know how many fell on the table. Let's put a T for table. And we'll draw a tape diagram, just a little rectangle. How many of them landed on the table? Let's go back up here. It says 20 of them landed on the table. So I can, let me go back to blue so you can see. I know that this whole tape diagram means that there are 20 on the table. Now we also know that some fell on the floor. Now, did more fall on the floor or did more fall on the table? Let me read this sentence again. It says, 5 more fell on the floor than landed on her desk. 5 more fell on the floor, which means there are more on the floor, so I need a bigger tape diagram. And how many more are on the floor? 5 more. So the difference between these two, the area that's different between my two tape diagrams is 5, because 5 more fell on the floor. That's a nice rhyme. Okay, so now we need to figure out how many paper clips did she spill altogether? Well, I have a couple problems here. I know that in order to figure out how many things spilled all together, I probably need to add, right? I need to add how many fell on the floor and add that to how many fell on the table. Okay, well, I know how many fell on the table. That's 20. So how many fell on the floor? How many should I add here? Did 5 fall on the floor? No, all of these fell on the floor. Okay, so how many is that? Well, I know that this part of my tape diagram is the same as this tape diagram. It's 20. So what's 20 plus 5? 25. So 25 fell on the floor. So how many total paper clips did she spill? Well, let's add. 0 plus 5 is 5. 2 tens plus 2 tens is 4 tens. 45. So there were 45 paper clips in this box that fell. So she spilled 45 paper clips. Okay, I hope that made sense. I hope these tape diagrams help you picture it just like they help me. All right, let's go ahead and turn our page in our math books to page 55. And let's start working on our work today. Alrighty, so you should be looking at your math book that looks like this page here, the Lesson 9 problem set. And let's read the directions. It says, number 1, solve using the algorithm. So the algorithm is a new name for the vertical method. So whenever you hear algorithm, you can think of just our vertical method. So this first problem, 123 plus 16, we would stack them up. 123 plus now 16. Let me draw my dots so I make sure I really line up. We want the tens with the tens and the ones with the ones. So make sure yours is all lined up like that too. Okay, but there's more to the directions. So it says solve using the algorithm, and it says draw and bundle chips on the place value chart. So if you remember back to our objective today, our objective was to solve using the vertical method, so the vertical algorithm, and drawing these problems, representing them. So we're going to do both. All right, so let's start. We already stacked up our numbers for our algorithm. Let's start by drawing them as well. So we'll draw our first number here, 123. All right, how many hundreds do I have? I just have 1. I'm just going to do little dots in my place value chart. I don't need to do anything else. How many tens do I have? I see a 2, so I'm going to put 2 tens. And how many ones? 3. 1, 2, 3. All right, I have my first number drawn. Let's draw our second number. We're adding, so I'm just going to add in 16. How many tens? I have 1 10. And how many ones? 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, I've set up my problem. I've stacked them into the vertical method, and I've drawn them. So now let's start adding. I think I will add using my drawing first. And where do we always start when we are adding? I'm going to do it in red so we remember. We always add our ones first. Always add the ones first. Okay, so let's go ahead and add our ones. I'm going to do it in green so you can see where I'm counting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, I have 9 ones. 9 can fit there, so I'm good. So I just found out that 3 plus 6 is 9. All right, let's add our tens. I have 1 10, 2 tens, 3 tens. All right, 2 plus 1 is 3. And how many hundreds do I have? 1. That's it, just 1. 1 plus nothing is 1. There you go. We just solved using the algorithm, vertical, and by drawing. We didn't have to bundle anything because all of these numbers fit nicely inside. Okay, I'm going to skip a few problems, and we're actually going to do letter D together. So that's going to be on page 117. Let me show you what that looks like. Okay, so I just turned the page to page 56 here. Sorry, I think I said the wrong page number a second ago. It is page 56. My teacher pages are a little different than yours. All right, and we are going to do this top one together as well. We have 57 plus 138. Now, it doesn't, with addition, if we're adding, it doesn't matter which number we put first. But I like to always start with my first number here. And there's a reason for that you don't really need to know quite yet. But you can start with either number. But we want to stack them up. So I have 50. Go ahead and put this in black so we can see. 57. Let me do my little lines so that I make sure to line these up. And we're going to add 138. Okay, so make sure I have my hundreds with my hundreds. 100. 30, my tens with the tens. And 8, my ones with my ones. So take a second to stack your numbers up. Make sure they are lined up just like mine. Okay, and as always, if you need more time, you can pause. Okay, and let's draw these numbers in our place value chart as well. So let's draw 57. How many tens are in this number? 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. How many ones? 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And let's draw. We're adding, so I can draw a second number. I'll do it in blue. How many hundreds are in this number? 100. How many tens? 3. 1, 2, 3. And how many ones? 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right, now we can add. We can start adding. Where do we start? Do we start with the hundreds, the tens, or the ones? I'm going to do it in red. It's really important. Always start with the ones, the ones, the ones, the ones. Very important. Okay, so we're going to start with the ones, and we are just going to count them. All right, ready? Count with me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Hold on, I'm going to stop right there. I said 10. 10 is our magic number. Whenever I say 10, I need to bundle. So I'm going to circle all 10 of those. Go ahead and do that on your paper too. 10, very important. Okay, what do we do with this 10? We bundled them. Where can we move them? We just move them over. So these are in the ones column, so I'm just going to move them over to the tens. Just trading them in for 110. Okay, so we bundled, we moved. Okay, now we can go back and finish counting. So how many are left over here in the ones? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have 5 left over here. How many tens do we have? Let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I have 9 tens over here now. And how many hundreds? Just 1. Awesome. 195. All right, let's go back to our algorithm, our stacked up numbers here. And let's add here. So we had 7 plus 8. Well, if you know your facts, you know 7 plus 8 is 15. But take a look. 15 is way too big. So that's why if you look back at our drawing here, we took 10 of them and we just moved it over. So we are going to, let me grab my red so you can see. We're going to take this 10 and we are going to move it over to our tens, which means we're taking it out of our ones. We moved it over, just like we did in the drawing right here. So it still says 15, just that 10 was scooched over so that it can be with the tens. Keep the tens with the tens. Alrighty, so we have 5 in our ones. Let's add our tens now. We have 5 plus 3, which is 8, plus 1 more. Don't forget to add that 1 that we added. So that's 9. And then add our hundreds. 100 plus nothing is still just 100. 195. Good. So you're going to finish up the rest of these problems on your own. Now, so you're going to go back to page 55 and complete those. And you're going to try your best on number 2 down here too. So let me just read it to you. And I want you to do your best to solve it. It's a little trickier. It says, Jose sold 127 books in the morning. I'll box that for us. He sold another 35 books in the afternoon. At the end of the day, he had 19 books left. How many books did Jose sell? So, how many books did he sell? Well, he sold this many in the morning and this many in the afternoon. So if you add those up, you'll find out how many he sold. Add them up by either using the algorithm, vertical, or draw, or both. And then see if you can answer B. That's the challenge question of the day. Okay, when you are done, take a picture of page 54, 55, and 56 and submit your work.